My dear students, in short, I am going to describe the introduction part of embedded system, and this is our chapter first, introduction to embedded system. Okay. So first of all, let we will discuss that what is the embedded system, why we require embedded system, and how we will be use the embedded system in our life. Okay. So before going onwards, some basic concepts are necessary to understand the embedded system. First of all, what is the embedded system? Some people are very confused to take about to this, that what is embedded system and what is general purpose system. So let me try to discuss in detail what is this. So there are two things. One is embedded system, another is general purpose system. Yeah. So in embedded system and in general purpose system, so many students are confused that what are these. On the other hand, some students are correlate embedded system and general purpose system with the microcontroller and microprocessor. So let's see here what are the difference between these four terminology. Okay. So if we talk about the general purpose system is a system through which we can design any type of system. It may be an embedded system or it may be a general purpose system. But if we go through the definition of embedded system, in the embedded system we cannot generate any general purpose system, or in another words we can say that we cannot design any general purpose system with the help of embedded system. Now let's see, can we use the microprocessor and microcontroller both in embedded system? Yes. The answer is yes. Why? For the small purpose of embedded system, like we are designing a traffic light or small toys or any another like calculators, if our equipment is very small size in term of functionality, then we will try to use a microcontroller to design an embedded system. But if the things are more vast, then we go through the microprocessor. The example of microprocessor, whatever we are using in the embedded system are like uh, mobile phone. Mobile phone is the basic examples everybody are using in this life. So in the mobile phone, whatever be the processor we are using, that is called the ARM processor. Okay. So this is not a controller, this is a processor, because here we require a lot of things, a lot of processing of the data. So that's why the microcontroller is not efficient for that so many tasks. That's why we are switching to the microprocessor. Okay. One more thing is that one another example of and not only example, even definition of embedded system is like that it's designed for a specific task. But now let I will modify the statement. Now the definition of embedded system is it's designed for the specific task, not a specific task, because these days whatever be the embedded system we are designing, it's handling more than one task. Like if we see the digital watch, so digital watch are giving us time, as well as we can set alarm also, calendar also. In the similar way, if we go through the mobile system, the mobile also have so many functionality, like we can watch video, we can listen music, we uh, through mobile we can handle the calls, and there are so many another n number of functionality it have. So it is not a specific task. There are a number of specific tasks are handled by the mobile phone. But again, mobile phone is not a general purpose system, it is a embedded system. Okay. So I hope the difference is clear between embedded system and general purpose system. The basic and the relevant difference is that, once again I am repeating, with the help of general purpose system we can design any kind of system, but with the help of embedded system we cannot design the general purpose system. Okay. if we go through the difference between the microcontroller and microprocessor, in microcontrollers all the peripherals are inbuilt within a single chip. But if we talk to the microprocessor, then in the microprocessor only core chip are available inside a single chip. All other peripherals are embedded externally. Okay, they are attached functionally and externally to the microprocessor. Okay, so let we go to the main slide. So here nowadays, if we talk about the embedded system, so there is no single houses available in which at least one embedded system is not using. Okay, if somewhere is electricity available in any houses, then it is said that at least one embedded equipment are using in all the houses. How like that? If we go through the computers, in computers keyboard, screen, mouse, all are the embedded system part. Okay, and in our daily life if we see, then the washing machine, dishwasher, microwave oven, central heating, burger alarm, all these are the example of embedded system. And one more thing is that, like whatever be the another equipment, very general purpose equipment, like uh, some others like radio, televisions, this is the common need of the houses. So each houses are using these days at least television or radio or FM radio. So all these have the functionality of embedded system. At least one embedded system are available inside that. On the another things, in these days whatever be the car we are using, so each car, even it is very normal car, so each car have at least one embedded system inside it. Okay, like even if we talk about the any normal car or any luxurious car, then they have more than one embedded system which is built inside that the car. Okay, so like the another example are there are found across industry and commerce in machine control, factory automation, robotics, electronic commerce and office equipments. Okay, so all these are using the embedded system. Now if we talk about the difference between the embedded system and computer system, that what are the basic difference? If we go through the computer system, in computer system we have a central processing unit. Okay, we have a central processing unit which is fabricated on the motherboard of the computer. Okay, and in this itself it have a ALU. It is another unit which is available inside the microprocessor. Except this is fabricated on the motherboard of the computers. All others are attached externally, like input output. This is also attached externally to the microprocessor. Data memory and program memory both are connected to the microprocessor externally. Okay, another is the control unit, that's also connected the externally to the microprocessor. So we can say, if we comparison the microcontrollers or microprocessor, then in microprocessor all the peripherals are connected externally. Internally only it have a chip on which the CPU and ALU is exist. Okay, if we go through the another part, like if we go through the microcontrollers, in the microcontrollers, let's see here, in the microcontrollers we have some we have a single chip, and on this chip we have program memory, data memory, main core of microprocessor, all the peripherals which are connected externally, digital input output, analog input output, and counter, timers, all these things are connected inside a single chip. And like in microprocessors, in the chip available only CPU and ALU, but here in microcontrollers all the external pin you are watching here, these are connected to our projects, whatever we want to we are going to design. Okay, so inside the single chips, some parts have memory, data memory, program memory, main core means CPU, ALU is also inside that one, some peripherals. Like peripherals means if we want to connect some another peripherals, then they are connected through the pins. Okay, so digital input output handling capacity, analog input output handling capacity, these are the another blocks available inside the single chip, and they are fabricated at the time of designing, they are not attached externally. Okay, so all these things whatever be you are watching here, program memory, data memory, microprocessor core, internal data and address bus, peripherals, digital input output, analog input output, timer and counter, all these are fabricated on a single chip. And here we are giving externally power to this chip and a reset circuit, and there are clock also. Now for the clocks there are 2-3 things available. Clocks we can generate inside also, and we can give the external clock also, but it is recommended that please provide the external clock which give more better response as compared to the internal clock. Okay, so that's why on some pins the clock are generated through the crystal oscillator, and they are connected here on the some pins of the microcontrollers. Okay, so this is the structure of microcontroller. And if we go further, that role and purpose of the embedded system, so it is clearly written, some things are here, like a first step toward sanity is programming is called the assembly language or simply assembler. In assembler, each instruction get its own mnemonics, a little word which is a human can remember and work with it. Okay, the instruction set is presented by a set of mnemonics. So generally if we are working on the microcontrollers, so in the previous days, not now, now we are using C language also, but in the previous days we were using the assembly language. So assembly language, they have their own mnemonics, and these mnemonics on the when the program are going to be execute, then through the assembler the mnemonics are converted into the machine code, means binary numbers. Okay, and they react to the hardware. Okay, so a computer program called a cross assembler convert all those mnemonics into the actual binary code. So cross assembler, we can call this is the cross assembler. And one more thing I want to say you, cross assembler means normally we are using the assembler. Cross assembler means when we are using the C language, not a simple C, embedded C language. For embedded C language we are using the cross assembler. Okay, if we are using a programming through the microprocessor, then we for the C language we are using the compiler, not the assembler. But in case of microcontroller, if we want to do some programming inside the microcontrollers and in embedded C language, then here neither we are using the assembler nor we are using the compiler. The terminology whatever we using here, this is the cross assembler, which convert the all the mnemonics into the binary code or machine code. Okay, so assembler program can be therefore very fast and efficient. That's why we are using this platform. And if we go through further, a further step to programming sanity is to use a high level language. In this case we use a language like C, Java, Python, or to write the program follow rule that of that language. Okay, so these days even to design the embedded system, it is not necessary that always we use the assembly language or embedded C language. These days for the complex embedded system designing, like mobile phone is also a complex structure. Okay, this is also the example of embedded system. For this, to design the mobile phone, we are not using the assembly language or embedded C language. We are using some other different language like Java, Python, and C++, and so many another. A number of language are available which are using to develop a mobile phone. So in early days of embedded system, the microcontroller were very simple, without own chip memory and very few peripherals. So in starting, the first microcontrollers generally in use, it was 8051, whatever the people were using most frequently, and even it have the program memory, data memory, peripherals, all the things have whatever be in our use. But before that one, there were some microcontrollers. Motorola also generated a microcontroller. So in the early age of microcontroller and in the at the generation time of microcontroller, there were no program memory inside that one, and even peripherals also very few. Peripheral means number of chips, what number of pins, whatever be we can connect it to outside the world. Okay, so that's why slowly the development of the embedded system going on still now, and even these days the embedded system is the requirement of all the persons. Okay, so now the embedded system completely acquire our life, and even if we go through our house, then so many systems we have, like press, refrigerator, AC, microwave oven, induction cookers, all these are using the embedded system. If you go through the vehicles, then even bike also using the embedded system, car have more than one embedded system in built at, and so many things whatever be available towards us which is belongs to electrical or electronics, they have uh, many of them have the embedded system features included. Okay, so over the year, however, the microcontroller become more and more sophisticated and memory much more plentiful. Many suppliers started selling pre-designed circuit board containing the microcontroller and all associated circuitry with which they were used, that there were very little development effort needed for the hardware. Now what is the meaning of this line? Let I will say you. Suppose that we are using a FM radio at our home, and suppose that it's going to be out of order, and when we go to mechanic, it checks all the component and he find out that particular IC number 43426, this is out of order, so there is no chances to repair that particular IC, so we have to replace that particular IC. So it means, suppose we are using the we are using a FM radio at our home, and we know that the FM frequency is 88 megahertz to 108 megahertz. So whatever be the FM are using throughout the world, they are using some basic chips inside that, which are going to be convert the frequency digital to analog, analog to digital, and so many another functionality they require. So we know that the millions and billions are FM radio are available inside the world. So what we can do, if we are if you see the chip inside the FM radio, that is a very small chip. It's have very small, like if we can say, it may be like 8-pin chip. Okay, the pin may be 8, the chip may be 8 pin. So we have two procedure here to generate this chip, to make this chip. After physical manufacturing, if we want to insert the program inside that chip for a FM radio, then either physically and manually we will program to this chip. Another way is that at the fabrication times we fabricate the program inside the chip. So if the number of chips we are going to be manufactured for a project that are less than 1000 or less than 10,000, then we can go through the manual process to burn program inside the chip. But if we are going to manufacture millions and billions chip of the same kinds, then the previous method is more costly, and now we are switching to the next method, and the program are fabricated at the time of uh, manufacturing of the chips. Okay, so they are the two way to manufacture the chips. So with this, this is the end of chapter first. Thank you, students.